Hello and welcome to the Daily Millwall for Wednesday the 9th of February 2022. Today's Millwall news, we got a bit more detail from yesterday's under-23 game. Then we're going to finish up the video with the stats from yesterday's game, but there isn't much to learn from that other than Fulham are better than us. So let's jump on with this. 10-man under-23s suffer home defeat. This is from millfc.co.uk. Mill under-23s were defeated 2-0 at home by Ipswich Town in the Professional Development League on Tuesday afternoon. After a goalless first half, the Tractor Boys took the lead shortly after the break, with Kevin Nugent's side reduced to 10 men after Tyrese Briscoe was shown a straight red card in their attempt to score a late equaliser. The Lions were then hit on the break by the visitors in second half opposite stoppage time as they scored a second to seal all 3 points. Daniel Ballard played 45 minutes against the Suffolk outfit as he made his first appearance after returning from a long-term injury sustained in November. Next up for Mill under-23s is a trip to Bristol City on Tuesday the 22nd of February. And the team was Wright, Walker, Tenzia, Ballard, Muller, Topoloj, Davis, O'Brien, Briscoe, Abdul Malik, and the subs were Ockley for Ballard at half-time, then Leahy for Abdul Malik, and then Babajide for Leahy because he got injured. And Allen was also on the bench, and subs not used, Gilmore and Smith. So there you go. Basically what I told you yesterday, but a bit more detail. So we got Nugent's comments on the match. So Kevin Nugent summarised the tough game when speaking to millfc.co.uk after the Lions 2-0 under-23s defeat to Ipswich Town in the Professional Development League on Tuesday afternoon. Mill played most of the second half with 10 men at Calman Road after Tyrese Briscoe was shown a straight red card, with the Tractor Boys' second goal coming with the last kick of the game. It was a tough game. Conditions weren't good. Neither were the pitch or the ball, Nugent said. We said at half time that it was a game where you need to find a way not to lose it. The sending off didn't help us, but it boils down to conceding a poor goal again. After we go 1-0 down, we wanted to stay in the game, be patient and wait to create a chance. With the second goal, we've put everyone in the box and they've countered us and scored. We can't complain with that one. We were really going for it. There wasn't even a chance to kick off afterwards. One positive from the afternoon was the comeback of Daniel Ballard, who played the first half. It was great to have Dan involved today. He had 45 minutes for us now, and his performance and attitude was spot on. It was good to see him back. Indeed, and they've actually done they got the photographer down there to take some pictures, which is quite unusual. Not that unusual, but they don't do that for every under-23 game. So here you go. They got taking pictures of Danny Ballard playing yesterday. There's Sean O'Brien, Danny Ballard again. I think that's Alfie Allen, Jaden Davis, Tyrese Briscoe on the right there. Tyrese Briscoe there. There you go. And some spectators there at the game. Interesting. So there you go. Speaking of pictures of Danny Ballard, this is Danny Ballard taking selfies because he was at the crowd. He was in with the Millwall fans at the Fulham game. Him and Tom Bradshaw were there. He's taking selfies. He's a good-looking young man, isn't he? Or I don't know if he's that good-looking, or it's just because he's standing next to a group of Millwall fans makes him look better looking than he is. But there you go. He was in with the away fans at Fulham. I wonder what he made of the performance yesterday. So. Here we go. So Gary Rowett talking again. Gary Rowett's best squad since taking Millwall job. Now he expects results. Gary Rowett reckons he's probably got the strongest squad in his time as Millwall player, but had it, they now need to show that by producing results. The Lions lost 3-0 at Fulham on Tuesday night and failed to take a number of excellent second half chances that could have made things far nervier for the Championship table toppers, who instead stretched their lead at top to 8 points. Rowett handed a debut to Sheffield United loanee Luke Freeman, who replaced Oliver Burke in the final 13 minutes. We've got a good squad. It's probably the strongest we've had, but we have to start winning games of football and winning them with a bit more regularly, said Rowett. It's no good to have a good squad on paper. We've got to go improve it week in and week out. Let me just say, do we have a good squad? What do I mean by that? So Millwall Football Club has players contracted to play for them, and then they have players who are on loan for them. So if you take our loan players out, what are we left with? Seriously, what are we left with? There's not a lot there. There isn't. So that means next season we have to go in hard for the loan market again. And if we don't, or if we get loan players in and they're not very good, like we did last season with Troy Parrott and the other geezer from West Brom, whose name I've already forgotten. Ken Zahor. That was it. It could be an absolute nightmare again. So we have a squad now at the moment for the next 3 months, but we're 15th in the league and we're not going anywhere. In order for us to get in the playoffs, we need to have championship winning form, which is, I believe, around about averaging 2 points per game. It might be a bit more than that. I think it's like 2.1. That ain't happening. You basically got to win one, draw one, win one, draw one. Yeah, that's not happening. It just isn't. We've got one centre forward at the club and about 6 wingers. So I'm excited that with those options, we may be able to play in a slightly different way than we have done before. Maybe we could play with 4 up front, but 2 wingers on each side, 2 left wingers and 2 right wingers. Overload the fullbacks. Maybe that might be a way to play. Invent a new style of football that hasn't been played before. We certainly haven't had an awful lot of luck losing key players at key moments in the season. Tom Bradshaw gets on the best scoring run for a while and gets injured. He's still our top scorer. Shea Yojo finds probably the best form he's had, gets injured. You're always just playing catch up with the players who probably aren't quite match fit. Ollie Burke showed tonight, just in some of those moments, how electric he can be. Jed can run and give you that little bit of spark. Mason had little moments. Luke Freeman coming on to give him a taste. It shows we have good options. Freeman, 29, made his first league appearance since the Blades 2-2 draw with Preston on September the 14th, 2021. Asked when he would be fully back up to speed, Rowett replied, difficult to know. If you've been out match days and match minutes, then it usually takes 3, 4 or 5 games before you get up to a level. Berkey has been the same. That's why I've probably got to 75 minutes and just taken him out of the firing line and get someone on a little fresher. I know we'll be better in those last moments and keep him on. Mason has done better physically in terms of keeping going for longer in games. Options in this division are what win you games, but these options have to produce when they get those opportunities. Yeah, Luke Freeman came on. When he came on, I looked at him, I thought he looks a bit chunky. Probably about a stone overweight, but he's pretty decent on the ball, to be honest with you. So some players, they don't need to be super fit, super slim. Like players like Gaza, he was an absolute beast, and he wasn't. Didn't matter, he was like fat. Or Matt Letizia, players like that, they weren't super athletic, but they know how to fucking play football. So yeah, he looked good when he come on. So let's see how he does. Now, Scott Malone was missing from that game. And this is from news@den.co.uk. Millwall defender set to be a doubt for Cardiff City clash after he misses defeat at Fulham. Scott Malone missed Mill's 3-0 defeat to Fulham at Craven Cottage on Tuesday night with a hamstring injury. Murray Wallace started at left wing back, with Alex Pearce coming into the middle back 3 and Jake Cooper moving to the left. The Lions host Steve Morrison's Cardiff City at the Den on Saturday. Mill manager said he might be back for Saturday, but maybe not. And Cardiff City played Peterborough tonight on Wednesday and they won 4-0. And 2 of the players that they signed, who we were trying to sign as well, Uche Ikpeazu and Jordan Hugo, both scored. Make of that what you will. But yeah, I don't know what it is with Scott Malone. He hasn't been playing very well this season. And for some reason, when he plays teams that he goes to play teams that he used to play for, he doesn't seem to play well either. I don't know if the crowd get on his back and gets to him. Huddersfield, he didn't play well, and I think he used to play for Fulham, so he probably wouldn't have played that well against Fulham anyway. So there you go, set to be out. Let's see if we actually put a defender on the bench then on Saturday against Cardiff. So we're going to move on now to the stats. If you're not interested in the stats, thank you for watching. But if you ask, stay tuned, because we're just going to roll through this because it's Fulham. What are you going to learn from looking at the stats from Fulham? So you can see here, this is the XG over the length of the time of the match from experimental361.com. Over the 90 minutes, and our usual, it is what it is. A game of two halves, which is our game plan. We defend in the first half and attack in the second. And you can see we had 2 shots in the first half. They had a lot more. And then come out in the second half when we started to attack more. Well, we had one more shot in this. We had the first shot of the second half. Then they had a shot and scored. So their first shot of the second half they scored with. Then we're 2-0 down, and then we kind of we made the changes and we started actually going at them, but it's probably because they were sitting back a bit more. They did get us on the counter a couple of times, so there you go. And the XG from them was from this site is 2.8 to Millwall's 1.0. So yet again, the attack not living up to the XG. You should be getting 1. If you the scoreline 0, your XG should be under 1. It should be like 0.5, 0.6, something like that. Because what it is, you can't get a point of a goal. Goals are round numbers. You either score or you don't score. So Fulham getting 2.8, they either get 2 or they get 3. So they got 3. So they overperformed on their XG on this graphic. We got 1. We should have got 1. Shouldn't get 0 XGs. Shouldn't get 0 goals from 1 XG. And I think that was basically the Jed Wallace opportunity. That should have went in. You can't blast it point blank at the keeper's face. You've got a hole. You got most of the goal to aim at. It probably wouldn't better if he scuffed it, to be honest. Yeah, and if he didn't shoot it where he shot it, and he just accidentally scuffed it, probably would have went in. But there you go. When you get a chance, you gotta take it, and we didn't. And well, we're gonna lose anyway, but it is what it is. So here you go. They got the XG even worse. So according to them, we did well keeping Fulham to 3. This is from infogoal.net. They give the XG in the middle was 3.42 to Fulham and 1.04 to Millwall. So yet again, XG of 1 for Millwall should have scored. There's the match events. We had 3 bookings. They had 1. And there's a substitution. So you can see when we took the defender off, Alex Pearson brought Jed Wallace on 57 minutes. You go back here. That's when we start attacking, and we have after that we have 3 shots. Is about half as many shots as we've had in the game. So there you go. After we go to 7 minutes after we go 2-0 down. Oh, let's try and score now after we're 2-0 down. Yeah, let's try and do that. Because then if we score 2 goals, it will get out of the game with a 2-2 draw. So this website is I like the XG map for them, and there you can go. Look at that. Look at that. It's like a polka dot pattern, isn't it? So these are all the shots plotted out on the pitch, on the area of the pitch where they were taken. The bigger the shot, the better the chance it was. So there was one chance underneath that didn't go in. and that was Cabano 62. That probably should have went in. And then they have two. So they managed to get 3 shots inside the 6-yard box, which is unheard of at this level, especially for our defence. You can see our defence. They kept most of them from out of the box, from shooting from outside of the box. So, but then you get 3 inside the 6-yard box, and 2 of them are goals. And that's what you got to do. You got to get in that 6-yard box. But we start from so far back because we're defending too far back, or we hit it long on the counter and there's isolated. It's like you got probably one runner spearheading it with another one trying to catch up to him. You need it the other way. You need more people up front, and you need to whip that ball into the 6-yard box. So you've got 2 people running into there and getting onto it. But so there's Millwall's chances. There's Fulham's chances. You can see are totally outclassed. Yeah, our best chance was. Oh, that was Benicophobe. Oh yeah, Benicophobe. That did get saved. It was on target. That's the one that hit the side netting and all the fans went up. I think that's the Jed Wallace one there. So yeah, we had 2 very, very good chances to score, and didn't go into fairness rating. Was that a fair result? 89.48 out of 100. Yeah, that was a fair result. So let's have a look at first half. So you can see first half, we kept them out of the 6-yard box, but they still scored. Got one there. Got a bit lucky with the deflection off Piercy, but here's our efforts in the first half. 2. 1 inside the area. 1 outside the area. And Kieftenbeld from inside the area. It's not the centre forward taking a shot. Not any of the 2, 3, 4 wingers we're playing. It's Kieftenbeld, the midfielder, defensive, tough tackling midfielder, who looked like he was trying to get sent off. In second half, reversal. There you go. Look at that. So I don't know what happened in the second half, but they didn't even step it up again. They just carried on, just doing what they're doing, messing around. They really didn't go into 3rd gear. They just cruised through the game, where we were huffing and puffing. Yeah, it was like no, you can't. No, the Millwall players were huffing and puffing, so they put the effort in, but they were totally outclassed. You can see here. So this is from whoscored.com. This is the website where EFL get their team of the week ratings from. And Millwall, no significant strengths for Millwall. We're poor at finishing. We're aggressive as weaknesses. No weaknesses for Fulham. And you can see on the right hand side, top 5 players in the game, all Fulham players. Probably, if we look through, probably I would say the top 14 players are all Fulham players, to be honest. Yeah, we'll check that out in a minute. But you can see here, so we had 8 shots. How many of them on target, you reckon? 2? Probably the Benicophobe one and the Jed Wallace one. They had 20 shots and they got 3 goals. It's 15% conversion rate. Yeah, like more than double the amount of shots we had. Scroll down. So they were mostly going down the left hand side. We were going down both wings. Yeah. So we didn't even have any shots inside the 6-yard box. They had 6 of their shots inside our 6-yard box. So only 28% of the play was in our third. Most of it was in the middle, and more of it was in their third. Player positions. So you can see there. Going down the left hand side with 7 and 28. And Millwall with 23, and I think that's 20. yeah. So let's hurry up and get through this and not worry about all of this shit. So here you go. You can see at the top by the club badges. Average player rating for Fulham 7.21. Average player rating Millwall 6.15. Not very good. Not very good at all. Man of the match, obviously Mitrovic. Yeah, probably go with that. Lowest rating for them of the starting 11 was 6.5, and that was a player who got subbed off, so he had less time on the pitch. And our highest rated player was Murray Wallace, 6.8. So when you look at their sub Cordova Reed got 7.2, that means 11 Fulham players had a higher rating than any Millwall player. So the top 10 rated, the top 11 rated players in that game were Fulham players. One of them was a sub. The 12th highest rated player was a Millwall player, Murray Wallace. I think that tells you all you need to know there, doesn't it? Shall we stop the video? No, let's keep going. And you can see how you got Bennett, Ballard, Hutchinson getting the bookings. They're playing on that left hand side basically. Pierce 6.0, Mitchell 6.0, Bennett 6.0, McNamara 5.9. Not a good day for anyone, but there was a lot of effort there. Can't say they didn't try. They did try, but it's not good enough. Total shots 20-8. Oh my god, look at this. Every single Fulham player except the goalkeeper had a shot, except for two of the subs. Bennett had four shots. So the centre forward had one shot. Ballard and Hutchinson. Pass possession 56-43. It's not that bad. They didn't really try and keep possession today, to be honest here. Yeah, Mitchell 6.3. Pass success percentage 83-72. Burke 84. Wonder how many of that, we'll see later how many that was off of, and that's pretty decent. Probably a low number. Dribbles 10-11. So there you go. Murray Wallace there. Nice. Doing the attacking. I think he loves playing left wing back. He does. He likes going forward and getting stuck in. Aerials 1, 18-19. Phobie with 4, Cooper with 5. Tackles 8-9. So we won the aerials, we won the tackles. None of the defenders made a tackle, which is quite unusual for Millwall. Corners 6-4. Yeah, we don't. For a team that plays with supposed wingers, are they wingers? Are they inside rights, inside lefts? We don't get many corners anymore. They don't seem to be even trying to win corners. Well, when you've got Cooper and Hutchinson and Pierce on the pitch, go into the corner and try and win. Go into the side and try and get a corner. Drag the players over. Make space. Dispossessed 4-6. So let's move on now to the player ratings, as we've seen. So you can see here, let's have a look at what I just showed you. So we go down to 11 players, 6.95, and then you go down to Millwall players, 6.77. Oh, so it's not even 6.8. So yeah, only three Fulham players had a lower rating than our best player, which was Murray Wallace, 6.77. I'll probably agree with that, to be honest. Murray Wallace did look good. Yeah, it's hard to pick a decent Millwall player out of that. It was just totally outclassed, and you can see that with the reins for the Fulham players. But again, you can see no substitute on no defender on the bench again. So let's just go through this. So you can see here top 5: Wallace, Cooper, Afobe, Keithton Beld, Jed Wallace. It's Jed Wallace, because he obviously had that shot, so you can see he had one shot on target. That was it. That was a chance, mate. That was a chance. You could have took that. That would be funny if he would have scored that. That would have really helped him out with his profile in terms of signing a contract. So he replaced Alex Pearson. He got a much higher rating than him. Got himself into the top 5, coming off the bench. Which shows you, tells you a lot about what kind of player he is. Very good one. Oliver Burke, 6.17. Okay. So let's have a look at shots. So we got 5 players having shots, and how many were on target? 2? Yeah, 2. It's Benicophobia and Jed Wallace. So there you go. The most amount of goals we could have scored would have been 2. Let's just, who had the most touches? Billy Mitchell, Sean Hudson, Danny McNamara. Again, Billy Mitchell, Danny McNamara are getting low scores, but they were the ones on the ball the most. They're the ones trying to make things happen. Because that's a big drop between McNamara and Cooper there. 67 and 55. Now you could say, okay, his touches, maybe they're taking extra touches because they're not too sure. They don't want to fuck up, you know. They do a quick, if they pass it too quickly, so they're trying to make sure they take an extra touch to make sure that, so instead of just doing one touch passing, if they do that and he gets intercepted, they're going to be deep in his shit. So maybe they're taking extra touches before they lay it off, making sure 100% that the pass is an absolute good pass before they do it, rather than being, maybe that's slowing the game down. I don't know. Now against Fulham, you probably want to do want to slow the game down. But maybe now against Cardiff, we want to play a bit more quickly. So you want to tell them, maybe don't take so many touches and fucking get the ball forward into the channels, especially if you've got Burke. Just hit in front of him and get him to run there. Maybe that might be a thing. If you just hit it in front of him, Burke can run down into the corner. He either gets the ball, he doesn't get the ball. If he gets the ball, maybe he don't do anything with it, gets closed down. But then if he tries to do something with it, we'll get a corner. He tries to cross it in, defender blocks it, goes out for a corner, happy days. Because you can't be, we used to have like 10 corners a game, now we're like having 3 or 4. It's not good, is it? So maybe that's the reason why they're having the touches, is they're just trying to make sure. Because there's pressure on them, they're young lads, they're coming into the game. And they want to be in the team. They've seen what's happened to Ben Thompson, they don't want to get bombed out. So maybe they want to make sure that they've got the ball proper and they can lay it off properly as well before they do that. Maybe that's why they're having more touches. So let's move on now quickly. Nearly there. So we've already seen with the shots. So Mason Bennett having 4 shots and none of them on target. It wasn't. Defensive wise, we've seen none of the central defenders having any tackles, which is very weird. Pierce, Hutchison and Cooper, no tackles. Maybe they were just closing down and the other players came in and did the tackles to keep them with 3. So maybe they just stood them up and then the other players had to come in and do it. McNamara 2, Murray Wallace 2, Billy Mitchell 1-1, Tyler Berry 1. coming off the bench with 25 minutes to go. Interceptions, Kieftenbeld's up there again, 4. So even, I think, yeah, that's what they were doing. The 3 centre backs were standing them up, and Kieftenbeld was the one told to go in there and get stuck in probably. Hutchinson 3, Cooper 2. Luke Freeman with 1 interception. That's good. You want that. If that was up the pitch, very good. Jared Wallace as well. So there you can see, coming off the bench and doing stuff. That is good. Clearances, Sean Hutchinson 5, Cooper Pearce, and that's, yeah. Block shots, 3, only 3. So they had 20 or so shots, so only having 3 block shots, not that good. Passing wise, so let's have a look at Oliver Burke, because he had a high passing accuracy. Only off of 25. That's not that good, to be honest with you. You would expect that off such a low number. And then when you look at Billy Mitchell's 78 off of 56, you can see, yeah, that's probably what's happening. Why he's having so many touches, making sure, because he's taking the extra touches and he's having higher passing accuracy off of a higher amount of passes. So that's probably where the extra touches are going. But then you look, Sean Hutchinson similar, well, he's doing a lot of sideways passing. 78 off of 51, that's good. Even Cooper 76 off 46, that's pretty decent as well. Anyone stinking it up? Bart Bukowski 27 off of 22. That was the long balls, wasn't it? So yeah, let's have a look at crosses. What it was? Did we even cross it any time? Were there any crosses? Apparently there were. Weird. So 9 players having crosses for Millwall. Who are they crossing to? Who are they crossing to? But accurate. Damn. Holy shit. All of these players having crosses. How many crosses we've got there? We've got 10, 13. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 crosses. Only 1 accurate. There's your problem, buddy. Bartoski, Bukowski, 19 long balls, only 3 accurate. Hutch 12 and 6. Jay Cooper 7 and 2. Billy Mitchell 6 and 4. That's pretty decent. Alex Pearce 5 and 2. McNamara 4 and 1. Murray Wallace 3 and 0. Yes, okay. I think we've seen enough. This is all you need to see. Fulham's top 11 players all had a better rating than the highest rated Millwall player. The highest rated Millwall player is Murray Wallace. He was the 12th best player on the pitch. And the first 11 were all Fulham players. So there you go. Just they were better. They were better than us. And you can't really do anything about that, can you? They're a yo-yo club. They run through this division. They go up. They do absolutely fuck all, including Mitrovic. He scored about 30 goals so far this season. Everyone's creaming their knickers over him. He didn't play that well yesterday, to be honest. He was just in the right place at the right time, and causing a lot of trouble with his physical presence. But he goes up and he scores like 6 goals in the Premier League. It's like you score 30 goals in the Championship and then you go up and you score 6. And then they bank the money, they come back down, rinse and repeat. And did you see that stadium, the new stand they're building there, which had all the plastic over the seats? I thought it was closed off for COVID, and then I remember, oh no, they're building a new stand there. They knocked down the old wooden one. I think the one that was on the riverside. I'm not too sure, or it might have been the one on the street side. Yeah, so that's what paid for that. That's what paid for the players they're buying. going up to the Premier League, coming straight back down, getting parachute payments. So they're getting paid by the Premier League for not being in the Premier League, because the Premier League wants a certain quality of team to come into the Premier League. They don't want dross to come in. They don't. So they want to make sure that the teams that come up can compete. Which is probably right, but I mean, come on. This is what it is. This is how it is. You're gonna have 3 teams that come down from the Premier League. They're getting paid out by the Premier League because that's the way it is. So what can we do? We have to do what we can do and work around it. And that is it for today's video. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.